Hey, you Stygian Dogs. It's time for a recap of this year's FanExpo Canada and to share with you some of the treasures I acquired while I was there. FanExpo Canada 2024 was held from Thursday, August 21st to Sunday, August 24th. And as with previous years, it was hosted at the Metro Toronto Convention Centre. This is located at the base of the CN Tower, just across from Rogers Centre or the Sky Dome, which is where the Blue Jays play baseball. It's quite the tourist center in the city. So I left my house at about 9:30. Transit was running pretty smoothly. I took the subway down to Union Station, got there in about 15 minutes, and from Union Station, you exit onto Front Street. Now, once you exit onto Front Street, you join a parade of expo goers. And many of these people are in costume, and there's definitely an energy in the air. And it's a great juxtaposition because around you, you have your office workers going out for coffee breaks. You have your summer vacationers and tourists downtown checking things out. Everybody watching this unique promenade down Front Street towards the convention center. You enter in through the north building. You pick up your pass. You go through a security check. There's a props inspection table for those elaborate costumes that people bring with them. Once you enter the north building, there's many, many vendor areas. And this is also where the celebrity photo op and autograph sessions occur. So I didn't spend too much time here. I wanted to go to the South Building, which is where Artist Alley is, all the comic creators, more vendors, the larger corporate exhibitions are there as well. And also these kind of independent retailers, almost like craft show vendors. So a lot of stuff to look at, a lot of stuff to buy. This is in the South Building is where the food court is and where also all the panel rooms are. So to me, this was the hub of the activity for the weekend and where I wanted to be. So given the relative calm of a Friday morning, and as you see the video down here, it's pretty quiet. Come Friday afternoon, it gets really busy. Saturday is intense and it's something to behold. So I took the opportunity on the Friday morning to visit the comic book retailers. I wanted a chance to flip through some bins and just to see what was available without the huge crowds around me. Among the purchases I made was Journey into Mystery #1, featuring A Tale of Timeless Terror by Robert E. Howard, creator of Conan, Dig Me No Grave. This, of course, features John Kirwan and John Conrad. We see them in the Battle of the Black Stone, and of course, they've appeared in the Savage Sword of Conan #4 with a story from Jeff Shanks. And in addition to that, Chamber of Chills #2, A Tale of Age-Old Menace by Robert E. Howard, creator of Conan, The Monster from the Mound. This being an adaptation of Robert E. Howard's The Horror from the Mound. So after spending about an hour flipping through comic bins and checking out retailers, I thought it was time to head to Artist Alley. First stop was going to be Jim Zub. I was there in part on Friday to record Jim Zub's By Crom It's Conan panel with Jim Zub, hosted by Brent Kittenden. Check out the video. I think you'll enjoy it. It was a chance to connect with Jim in advance of that. Of course, I brought some things for him to sign, and also just an opportunity in the relative calm of a Friday morning to catch up and just chit-chat. So I headed over to the table, and as I was making my way towards him, I saw that he was already speaking with the one and only Tennessee Fats. Now, if you don't follow Tennessee Fats' channel, you should, because he is a great Conanophile and a man of great comics erudition. So definitely give him a follow. It was great to bump into him there, especially at that moment, talking to Jim. Jim Zub bore witness to a new Hallmark movie genre in the making as YouTube worlds collided. Jim and I had a very casual conversation. We spoke about Savage Sword of Conan, Battle of the Black Stone, just kind of got caught up on things, talked about the day. It was very nice. All of the guys there, they want to make sure that you don't miss out on anybody. So Zub was like, oh, make sure you go see Nick Manrikovich. He's got this pinup in Savage Sword of Conan. He has it for sale over there. Frank Thierry's here. He gave us his impersonation of Frank. Let us know that Carrie North's there. And kind of when you go to everybody's table, they just let you know who else is here that you might want to connect with. So that was very nice of everybody. I did reconnect with Jim on the Sunday after a viewer had noted that with issue number 17, Rob de la Torre is not returning. As we know, usually we have these kind of 4-arc issues. Rob, Doug Braithwaite, Rob de la Torre, Doug Braithwaite. Well, we're in the middle of Doug Braithwaite arc right now, and in issues 17 and 18, we have a new artist, and it's Danica Breen. And Danica's work looks fantastic. Jim shared some of it yesterday on X. I'm pretty excited for this, and I think what's going to be really exciting for readers is that it's a 1-2 punch. It's a Conan and Belit story, a 2-issue arc. I think that's fun. And then following Danica's arc, we get the return of an artist that we're familiar with for another 1-2 punch. Now, there's a 4-arc series or 4-issue arc coming up after that, and it's pretty exciting. And I can't say who's doing the art on that, but I think everybody's going to be really pleased. Now, and of course, Rob de la Torre is returning. Rob's working on Savage Sword of Conan number 6 with Roy Thomas, so he's focusing his efforts there. So we'll see him return in just a little bit. So everything is good. Just know there's some really cool stuff coming down the line. So after leaving Jim, it was time to grab some lunch and then head up to the Conan panel. So as I'm in line at the Conan panel, I had a great conversation with Jason. Shout out Jason. He is familiar with the channel, so that was kind of funny. I recorded the panel. Check out the video. Hope you enjoy it. After the video, I connected with a friend, and it was just nice. All of a sudden, you're kind of find yourself in a corner, having a coffee, away from the crowds a little bit, just a chance to catch your breath. Now, after that, I attended a Dan Parent panel, just a conversation with Dan, history of Archie, history of Dan's work. My daughter is a huge Archie and Betty and Veronica fan, so I'm always kind of tangentially connected to Dan Parent in some way, it feels like. I skipped out of that session a little bit early. I went to a Writing for Comics panel with Jim Zub, Stephanie Cook, Fred Kennedy, Frank Thierry, and Ray Fox. It was enjoyable. I didn't want to seem like too much of a Jim Zub fanboy, but I was excited to hear from Fred Kennedy and Frank Thierry. After that, I headed back to Artist Alley. I did connect with Frank Thierry. I got him to sign my Savage Sword of Conan number 3. He again let me know, make sure you go see Carrie. Very nice guy. Very, very casual conversation. I then proceeded to meet Fred Kennedy and Nick Manrikovich. Fred, of course, wrote Savage Sword of Conan number 4, Dark Agnes story. And Nick Manrikovich's pinup is in Savage Sword of Conan number 4, and we've seen him do the cover of number 2. So I made sure I got his signature on that. And here's a look at this awesome large-scale print of that pinup that appears in Savage Sword of Conan number 4. I just absolutely love this. Had to buy it. In addition to that beautiful print from Nick, I picked up Dead Romans by Fred Kennedy and Nick Manrikovich. It's a hardcover collection collecting the 6-issue miniseries. The blurb that you'll find online is, Arminius, a Germanic prince raised in Rome, has sworn vengeance against the empire that butchers his people. He wants to make a queen of the woman he loves, Honoria, a fellow slave. Now 50,000 Romans will die to give her a throne she never asked for or wanted. I'd absolutely recommend this book, and I really look forward to the possibility of Fred Kennedy and Nick Manrikovich doing more work with heroic signatures. So from there, I headed towards Carrie Nord. I bypassed Dan Parent's table because he was just busy at that moment, knowing I'd see him on Saturday. I go see Carrie Nord, get his signature on my Savage Sword of Conan number 3 with Frank Thierry and Jim Zub. And we chat briefly about the Sword and Sorcery Cinema event that happened in Calgary. He was in attendance there. He did the poster for the event, and at the event he was signing some of those posters. A friend of the channel gave me an update on that event specifically. I'll do another video on that and something that he sent along to me that I'm very grateful for. Thank you so very much. And from there, this was probably getting on towards, 5 o'clock. Like, the days go by so fast when you're there. It's intense. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. So there was another event I wanted to go to. It was a sketch battle with the Art Germ guys. I intended to get Stanley Lau's autograph on the Friday, but I failed to do so. And by the time I got to the panel room for the event, the line was too long and I was going to be turned away. So given it was, probably about 5:30 or so, I thought, okay, this is a sign. I'm going to go home. I have the things that I've acquired for the day. I'm going to take off my shoes. I'm old. I'm tired. I'll come back on the Saturday. So I return on Saturday with my son, and this day was going to be very much about him. He's a D&D fan. We go in through the north building. We go to the south building. We're checking out dice, all the vendors. We made our way to a Dungeon Master Academy panel. It was tips and tricks on running the most entertaining game for your table. He loved it. There was a lot of information for him there. Just a lot of tips on storytelling in general. I think it was a great session. And it also pointed us in the direction to other YouTubers and things we might be interested in. So that was a great time with my son. After that, we checked out some vendors. I think in between that panel and another panel, we walked by Jim Zub again, and my son got his Dungeons & Dragons graphic novel signed. Again, thanks so much, Jim. And from there, we went to a sketch battle with Yannick Paquette and Mike Del Mundo. And this was a lot of fun. These events, they're a blast, actually. It's just the artists are given an idea to have a sketch battle, suggestions from the crowd there. Usually it's something a little bit inane, a little bit silly. It's a lot of fun. And there's a Q&A that goes along as they're sketching things. And Yannick is hilarious. My son was giggling the whole time. That was a great time. After that, we headed to Dan Parent's table. I picked up a graphic novel. Dan signed it to my daughter. And I also had the opportunity to get something for myself from Dan. Now, I had seen this posted, I think it was back in April or May, Conan and the Girls. Now, Dan always has on his table these preliminary sketches, rough sketches of panels and pages that he does, and he sells them. And lo and behold, I find the rough sketch for this Conan and the Girls commission that he did for somebody else. So as much as I would love to have that commission, I was pretty chuffed to be able to acquire this. It was almost a dream come true. So that was very cool for me. I also took the opportunity to ask Dan to sign my copy of Conan the Barbarian #2 featuring his variant cover. And of course, you'll see Jim Zub's signature there too. From there, I know at some point my son and I had lunch. We checked out all the vendors. It gets pretty busy. I picked up a few more comic books. We knew the day was drawing to a close. My son suggested we go back to the North Building to check out some vendors there. But again, the capacity it's pretty phenomenal. If you don't like crowded spaces, you just have to be very patient. You just have to know that this is going to happen. So we go to the North Building. It's a little bottlenecked, a little too full. We look at each other. We realize it's time to go home. So we leave, but we had a great time. We saw what we wanted to see, more or less. I did miss out on getting Stanley Lau's autograph and a few other autographs. I know for next year I might plan things a little bit differently. It does help to plan in advance. You really want to plan your panels. You want to have a sense of who you want to see, where you want to be, and when. It's intense. You could definitely make the 4 days of it. It's pretty exhausting by the end of it, but it's a great time all said and done. I encourage you, if you've not been to FanExpo Canada, take advantage of it if you have the opportunity to attend. It is a great time. Go with an open mind and an open heart. Everybody is there just to have fun. And as far as events in the city go, this is one that feels somehow the most diverse. It just draws all walks of life. Everybody's united in their fandom. And so it's this something that is above all of us, that unites all of us, and everybody just has a laugh. It's a really fun time. So I can't recommend it enough. Thanks for watching, liking, consider subscribing, and until next time, take it easy, you Stygian Dogs.